I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the pledge of the flag, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everybody to the March 1st, 2023 meeting. We have a motion to approve the minutes of February 15th.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have a motion to approve the financial report and disperse the funds.
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion on the financial report? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, first on our agenda, we have a petition for de-annexation. I don't like those words, but resolution D1-2023. Lou, is that something you want to tell us about?
Yes, we received two petitions for de-annexation, one from Frederick and Diane Rao, and they live at 305 Delancey Road. And the other one's from Joyce Lennon and Laura Walker at 303 Delancey Road. These are adjacent dwellings or properties across from Pine Valley. Both of these parties, the property owners, have indicated, and I'm aware of, that this property was part of a larger area that was going to be annexed and then developed into a large residential project, but it never occurred. So they've been paying property taxes for some time, and now they want to de-annex because that development never occurred. They were going to sell the property. So I would recommend that the board accept the petitions for de-annexation for both Frederick Rao and Diane Rao and Joyce Lennon and Laura Walker, and authorize the resolution to be initiated under the introductory process.
Very good. Do we have a motion to accept resolution D1-2023 for introduction purposes?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Do we have a motion to accept de-annexation D2-2023 presented for introduction?
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I do have a question.
Yes.
I'm sorry. But services like trash and whatever won't stop until after we actually adopt. Right?
I would agree with that, yes.
Okay.
So we're out of town.
Yep.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Yeah, I actually felt they've been paying a lot of town taxes and no services. I mean, yeah, we've been picking up their trash, I think, hopefully. And, but we've, no water and sewer. Okay, we have a bid opening on project 2023-02, meter replacement, Friendship Heights and water line replacement at Reed Hardman. All right, Dan, tell us a little bit about it.
Good afternoon, Mayor Commissioners. This particular project is it's broken into two distinct pieces. The first one is the meter replacement in the Friendship Heights neighborhood. That's 106 houses, and as part of our meter installation project, these particular houses are in what's called crawl spaces, so they're literally underneath the house, which are inaccessible. So in a part of our meter upgrade project, we determined it's a lot easier to actually put a pit meter in the front yards of the houses right there, put the meter in right there, which makes it a lot more accessible. So that's, because of the work involved with that one, our crews try to do it, but it's too much later time consuming. So we actually went out and did that particular project out. The second project is a water line replacement at Reed Hartnett, located in the Holly Hall area. Basically, 600 feet of water line. We discovered, as we're looking at well 2, we discovered that the diameter of these particular lines is about 4 inches. Everything else around is like 6 and 8 inches. And as a result, the line itself got kind of cruddy. So we're actually in the process of switching that out to improve the water service in this particular area.
Dan, do you think that that's where the mud is coming through? Or some of the dirty lines on that Reed Hartnett line?
With that one?
No.
There you go.
Have we determined what's going on with the water lines over there?
We've had problems with the well. We've had it cleaned, and now we're just going to get it back in service as soon as we do some more testing.
Do you think it's from the well?
Yeah, definitely.
There's no dead ends, or there ever there?
No,
Not around
we flushed everything,
Okay.
and we've had it cleaned, so we're in the process of getting it more clean.
Is that well under warranty when they put the pump house out there? I mean, is that something,
That's expired now.
it's expired? Okay. All right, so let's do an opening.
Okay, basically, yeah, we had two bidders that bid the projects out. The way we broke them out is two separate projects. In other words, I had two bidders. Each bidder will give you a number for the meter replacement project and for the water line replacement. The first bid is Dick's Hollow Contracting Company. Dick's Hollow Contracting Company, for the Friendship Pipe Water Meter Replacement Project, they have a bid of $264,330. That's $264,330 for the Friendship Pipes Meter Water Project.
Mm-hmm.
For the other project, the Reed Hartnett Water Line Project, the bid was $130,000. 130,000, sorry. 264,330 for the water meters, and 130 for the water line and Reed Hartnett. At Dick's Hollow. The second bidder is Lexio Pipe Company.
That's like the LACC.
Yeah, LACTF.
Where are they out of, Dick?
They're off on 213.
Well, right there, down by Lucas Point.
Oh, this one, that goes by it. Okay, so the Leco Pipe Company, the Friendship Pipe Water Meter Project number is 205,280. That's 205,280. And the Reed Hartnett Water Line Project is $155,000, $155,000. We're gonna do. I recommend the board accepts it. We need to do some bid evaluation, but the apparent low bidder could probably work out, that's what we recommend, but we still have to, tally.
Dan, do you feel comfortable splitting them up, or do you want one contractor to do them both? Because if you combine them both, the LECCO pipeline company is still $34,000 less, but make that, if you think it's okay to go with two, I'm fine with that, but you just want a motion from us based on reviewing with the engineer.
Based on the review of the bid, yeah.
We have a motion to accept, well, listen, I would say we're gonna accept the bids, but how does the board want to proceed with this? I guess give each low bidder.
Can we do that? Because it's,
We broke it down as two separate projects. We can do it for each little bit. We have no trouble doing that. We should do it.
they're $25,000 more on the Reed Hartnett.
Yeah, so let's separate them, and do we have a motion to accept the low bidder of LECCO pipeline on the Friendship Pipes water meter project for $205,280?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Okay, do we have a motion to accept Dick's Hollow Contracting for the amount of $130,000 for the Reed Hartnett water line project?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Here, it's all good. Here, you can have this one. Here. I don't want to give that one to you. Okay. Thank you, Dan. All right, Lou, you have a couple items?
Yeah, ordinance 1/2023. These are for, this was introduced at the last meeting, and these are for changes in the area, so around the medical use area. Chip, you want to chime in here about what these are specifically? I can read it, but.
Well, the first one is to allow medical use in certain sections of the town center zone. Basically, that's all it is. The first one's for medical use and counseling within the town center zone in an area that I outlined at the last meeting. It's kind of mainly between Bow Street, West Main, Bridge Street, and the railroad.
I think the most important part about this is during the introduction period, it was mentioned to us that we worked with Union Hospital to determine what their future growth was within the town, and we basically realigned our area to marry up with theirs, and this would be areas that would support Christiana Care, not Union Hospital, I guess.
Well, it was first when Christiana first came in, that's when they gave us an area that they thought they would want to expand to eventually. We'll create, that will eventually become a hospital zone.
Very good. We have a motion to accept ordinance -1-2023. It's amending the town ordinance for the supplemental uses regulations, section 33 and 34, allowing medical use within the designated areas in town center zone, and it is presented for adoption.
So moved.
We have a motion and we have a second to my left. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Second item I have is a easement requested by Chesapeake Utilities, or Elkton Gas, as most people refer to them. This is an easy one. They want a 20-foot perpetual easement on along Delaware Avenue on the town property adjacent or across the street from the water plant, adjacent to the old public works. They need that to move the gas line in order for the pedestrian bridge to be constructed adjacent to the Delaware Avenue Bridge. I would recommend that the board grant the perpetual easement to Chesapeake Utilities in order for that gas line to be moved so we can go ahead with building that bridge.
We have a motion to accept or to enter into a 20-foot easement for replacement of a service line adjacent to Meadow Park, Delaware Avenue. We have a motion?
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'm hoping that State Highway will get a contractor lined up and perhaps initiate construction this summer. I'm hoping.
That'd be
I'll
good.
keep the board posted. But that's the items that I had. The only other item I mentioned is on the agenda. I got a email yesterday from Maryland Monuments about a grant, a conservation grant that we can apply for to look at drainage around the Doughboy Monument. Doughboy Monument was initially accepted in front of the courthouse, the old courthouse at Main and York Street, and moved in 1941 over to the Armory, so it's been there 82 years. And it looks all right to me, but they think that the drainage there could be an issue over time affecting the marble. And actually, that thing was made in Vermont and brought down here and assembled. And so we can get a grant. Jean's gonna, she's not in here, she's gonna apply for a grant to have the engineer evaluate the drainage around it so we can preserve that on infinitum. So I was gonna let that, she is here? Oh, there's Jean. He didn't yell or anything, so I couldn't. Anyway, she's applying for it. She's all excited about the opportunity to perpetuate this historic asset in our community.
Very good.
That's
Thank
all I
you.
have.
All right. First on my report, I'd like to do an appointment on the Board of Housing Appeals for Melissa Hickman to stay on the Housing Board of Appeals. Her term would go from today until February 28, 2026. We have a motion to accept Mrs. Hickman.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, it's been the last couple of weeks have been fairly busy. I think I might have mentioned, I attended the Maryland Mayor's Convention down in Annapolis a couple of weeks ago, and it was very, there was a lot of knowledge that I learned while I was down there, which is hard to believe. All the information I have in my head, and there's a lot that I was able to bring back. But it was well worth the time for me to be down there. Monday night, I attended the Cecil night in Annapolis again, and it was very, very promising for our community. I think Cecil County did a great job of representing themselves. There must have been several hundred people in that room, and our local legislators were all there, which was great. And they saw how we came down at them as a team. But that was sponsored by the Cecil County Chamber, and it was brought down there, and it was one of those events that I went down to. Other than that, I don't really have anything to report. I think there's Mike, I think I got a question for you after the fact, but we'll go through it. But I want to have you bring up about the feasibility, if you would. Okay, Rob, do you have anything today?
I just wanted to mention that the annual comedy roast is coming up on April 1st. That's a month away. I know a lot of people need to schedule things far enough in advance, so I'd like to invite y'all to that, especially you, because you might be part of it. And then 3 weeks after is the town's 3rd annual fishing rodeo. And I'd like to reserve a grill for that day, if I may, from Public Works.
I think we can arrange something.
Very good. Thank you very much. That's all I had.
I'd like to add that fishing rodeo last year was absolutely phenomenal, and I think this year will even be better. And I want to thank Commissioner Masmiano for his efforts, because it's not like you just put the fishing lines into the water and that's your day. It's a lot of preparation work that he does. He re-spools every one of those fishing poles each and every year, and that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy to do that. We recognize you. We recognize you. Now, Earl doesn't, but I do recognize you. I just want to make that very clear.
That was pretty clear.
Okay, thanks. So Earl?
I didn't know you said anybody.
Oh.
Hey, Rob, are you gonna put out like a little email or something when you're ready for, volunteers to help you, or?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a team together a couple of weeks prior and make sure that all of the tackle is stopped and all the lines are looking good. And we have all the poles. I'm not sure if we still have all the poles, but I have a plan in place this year to ensure that as well.
Okay, thanks.
Earl?
I just want to say congratulations to the Recreation Center for their playground that's been added on it. If you haven't seen it, drive by and take a look at it. It's a nice little addition to the center. And also, I know we talked about getting some kind of a tent or something for when it gets hot in summer, that we wanted to try to add on to the center. Maybe we can look at something down the road. I have a couple ideas that maybe bring up later on that might fit into where we suggested earlier, so that's it.
Charles?
There's been a lot of discussion either among us or on Facebook about the trash collection. Where are we going from this point? Because you can write, you can talk, you can do whatever, but there's got to be a point where you're going to pick up and everybody's going to be on the same wavelength as far as what we're doing. Everybody just can't sit up there and have opinions, or they can. So Dan, can you answer that? Or Lois, can you answer that?
We all hands negotiated with them about rebidding the contract.
Yeah, no, exactly. The trash services, we feel that it has to be a change. So we are developing an RFP now, and we're talking to several different trash companies, all that stuff. And that should be, hopefully, we'll put that out sometime in April. And then, we'll bid it out that way. And Waste Management's current contract starts October 31st. And we'll have an RFP before that point to get some fresh ideas on that stuff. And I'll be talking to the board as we get closer to that.
Okay.
But how does that address the issue between now and October 31st?
It's the other hiccup they had, I actually went to the corporate office and talked about that one, and something must got shook up, so they were able to clean everything up. In theory, if there's no more holidays in between, that should work out that way. It's just, so we're diligently working through with them, because sometimes that can be a challenge, so we are working through it to hopefully.
So are we basically just picking up the slack between now and then? Is that what it's gonna end up being?
Sometimes you are involved, yes, sometimes that does happen, so. We'll just continue on, that's about the best I can say.
But I'll tell you what, if there is an improvement for waste management from this point on, I think the board would like to know that too.
Sure. But that's the whole RFP, that's why I think we need some new blood, so that's the whole.
Well, you know, they may change their ways, who knows?
But regardless, we'll share it, sure.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
So, yeah.
It's on me, I'm sorry. I'm glad you're here. A little while ago, we were addressing High Street in front of the hospital. Refresh my memory, we have a plan for that portion of the street where the cobblestone is?
We looked at the process, we're gonna get with Christiana Care. We're thinking about maybe removing the cobblestones and putting concrete that looks like cobblestones, but I need to coordinate that with the hospital. That's something we can do in place, it's our road, but let me get with the maintenance and work on the chip.
I was gonna say, how long would that, so we haven't really started that ball
Not
rolling
yet,
yet?
not yet.
Is there anything we can do in the meantime? There's probably 3 or 4 places, 3 good places that when you drive over, it'll knock your teeth out. I mean, it's just crazy.
Let me coordinate with them and let me see if I can address them in a hurry, at least.
Just like something temporary that could be filled in, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I think Matt Jolly, he's the new operations guy there, so I'll talk to him and I'll see what I can do in a hurry.
it would be nice to have that rapport with them, and thank you, Dan. That's all I have.
Thank you, Gene. I think that I'd mentioned earlier, I got Mike Brown here from Sideline Sports. Mike, I'm not sure if you're prepared or not, but I just wanted to kind of know where we're at with this feasibility study.
Thanks very much. Do I need to scoot up on my?
Yeah, come on up if you like, or you can.
Well, since you already, but.
Okay.
Our commitment to the mayor and council were that we were going to do a feasibility study. As you guys remember, we're waiting on that date to be completed. At the same time, we did our flyover rendering, and we shared that with you. So as an update, we did receive back a preliminary study. Everything looked fantastic as far as we were concerned. Even using the conservative numbers that the studies put together to make sure that it's truly feasible, we feel very comfortable with everything that they shared. We did have a couple of clerical things we asked them to go back and fix, number of parking spots and things that we saw that they had the wrong numbers for, so we wanted it to be accurate. We also took the time to review it with Chris Sheehan, who's been here a couple of times, because we figured if we're gonna say it's feasible, we may as well have the bond guy take a look at it and make sure that he also sees the same thing. So in the next day or so, we expect to have that draft to you all. We're not gonna ask them to finalize it, so you guys have an opportunity to review it as well. But we expect to have that to you by the end of this week.
I would like to ask, Lou, make sure when we get this study, can you get it to Davenport? I guess that's who we would need to get it to.
Yeah, there'll be our financial advisor for affordability.
Yeah, if we can get it over to Davenport, see what they're thinking, I don't want to waste anyone's time here if it doesn't make any sense. But if they look at it and they think it's a go, let's get moving with this rating. I think that's our next step. Isn't that our next step? I believe so. So let's move forward with getting ourselves rated, if they think it's rateable. I mean, that's where we're at. Anything else that you need to bring?
Not right now. Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Good
you.
news.
Thanks, Mike.
It's nice to see Mr. Ray Jackson here from Southfield. So you have any updates for the town?
Just that things, the approval process and facilitating of the plans has been great, and I'm very appreciative of that, and we expect to, as I mentioned last Mayor Commissioners hearing, we expect to be having groundbreaking probably in April, so we'll coordinate that with everybody, give everybody advance notice. We'll have the event afterwards up at Patriots Glen, but things are progressing. So, and I think that I would also share that D.R. Horton was at Cecil night, Trammell Crow was at Cecil night. Sideline Properties, Sideline Properties sponsored Cecil Night, our company sponsored Cecil Night. So I think that, just to elaborate on what you said, it was a phenomenal turnout, and I'm personally proud that the strategic partners that we brought to the table all attended as well. And they're excited to be here. I think that's important.
I think so too. Mr. Brad Carrillo, Elk River Brewing, Sideline Sports, you have anything you want to bring to the table?
Thank you, I was just here for support today.
Singular Fire Company, you have anything that you would like to bring up today, or it's all good?
Just a quick report.
All right.
So I know we've been keeping you up to date on things. Currently, we have a fleet of 4 ambulances. Currently 2 are out of service, mechanical issues. One is waiting on parts, and it's about a 2-week lead time to get the parts for it. So just so you're aware of that. We wanted to check on the round 2 of the ARPA funds, an application when the board might render their final decisions.
I think that's a good question even for me. So where do we stand, Michelle, with the second round?
So the deadline to accept requests for donations is March 31st. After that deadline, that's when the review will be made.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else in the audience have anything that they would like to bring to the town board? Pat?
I just want to say thanks to the town and to Dan for looking into the waste management problem.
Very good.
It's a severe problem.
It has been. It's been, out of all my years that I've served on the town board, I think this has been the most challenging time about trash. I can't even imagine town councils in these larger cities when they have, I guess when they go on strike, when these trash companies go on strike and it just piles up, it's been some challenges right now for us.
Well, sometimes I feel like they are on strike.
Well, and we're gonna get through it. While I got everyone's attention, I wanted to mention to the board, we're coming up on 250 years, our great country, since our birth date, and I think that we should be looking a little bit ahead about having the largest celebration in the town of Elkton that we've ever seen. So I think there was a 200-year celebration, which was through the town of Elkton. I know that we were all young folks at that point, but I do remember it. When they had the 200th year celebration through Elkton, and I think that we need to start maybe within the next couple meetings. Let's come up with maybe some people that might want to serve on a 250th year committee to move forward, to do something huge in the town of Elkton.
Can I have one thing I forgot?
Yeah.
I saw Kathleen, she had left the building, but there's an Alliance meeting coming up soon, right? For March? The Elkton Arts and Entertainment puts out, the email with all the wonderful happenings that are going on. Is there any way to utilize the screen we have out at Meadow Park, that you could put some advertisement on that, like you do the website, for the St. Patty's Day and everything else that's coming up? Maybe try to fill up that.
I would think they'd welcome that, I'm on the board, Brad's on the board, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sitting there empty, and then I look at something like this and go, oh, this is great, but
Sure.
nobody, people driving through town certainly don't know.
Yeah.
Utilize it. I think it looked really colorful, and it would attract a lot of attention. I wish we had something like that on the other side of town, but maybe if we ever acquire Holly Hall, that might, work or something, I don't know, but I'd like to see something on the other side too, Yeah, or, down 213.
Well, you'll be getting a reader on 213.
Yeah, I know.
Hopefully those plans have been submitted as well.
But, yeah, it would
I'd
be
like
nice
to
to have
put one at the
something
circle
similar.
at Patriots Glen, if you guys want to put one out there. We could definitely do something out there as well.
Okay, oh, on the corner,
Yeah,
coming
you're
in that way.
I would offer that up then.
Yeah, it's nice, but I drive up Delaware Avenue all the time, and it's just sitting there empty. And then when I was looking at their email, I was like, wow, this would look really good, filling up that, I don't know what you even call it up there, what is it? What's it called?
Backstop?
Is it?
Yeah, we call it backstop. Yeah, we call it the backstop, that's what we talk about.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you.
We suggest give us two backs, we want on both sides. That's not a problem.
Yeah, it's a two-sided, so go for it.
Very good. Is there anyone on the Zoom meeting that has anything for the good of the town? I don't see any.
Were you, two visitors, were you gonna stand?
Yeah,
Okay, it's your time out.
All right.
good afternoon. I just wanted to formally introduce myself. My name is James Mozon. I'm a senior pastor and founder of a nonprofit organization called Ministry for Millennials. We recently acquired commercial property right off of Bridge Street, and we're planning to convert it into a gathering space for young people, not just young people, but for all together. We wanted to be another outlet for this community. This place is actually special to me personally because 10 years ago I got married here, and on our 10th year anniversary received the keys right down the street from what do you call it? Justice of the Peace, JOP. So anyway, so on the 10-year mark, my wife and I, we acquired this property. I wanted to formally just introduce myself to be a resource to this community because I believe this place is a catapulting and launching ground for family dynamics. My wife, when I met her, her grandparents got married here, her aunt got married here, her cousins got married here. So we followed the tradition, and dynamically enough, 10 years and 1 month ago, when we started this process, we didn't know we would come back to hopefully become community leaders, not just essentially with you all, but also for this generation that's coming up. One of the people in our church, her daughter basically was involved, I guess not involved particularly, but a friend was murdered in cold blood in this town. And it turned my wife and my heart because we didn't know that that was the dynamic of this community. So whatever I can do, and we have a pretty strong following. We're international missionaries. We do a lot of things. We've been serving in Wilmington, Philadelphia, Camden as well, and so we want to bring that here. So I just wanted to formally introduce myself to you all and just, say thank you. Even though you may not realize it, if it wasn't for a place like Elkton, I probably wouldn't have a story. So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
May I get your address and whatever else? Do you have a card before you leave? If
Yes,
not,
sir.
you can give it to the secretary and she can distribute it there.
Which property is it?
Right across the street on South Bridge Street 109, across from the lumber store. We took the bottom suite. So we've been raising money now to get the zoning and all that stuff done. I guess it wasn't zoned for gatherings before. So we have a pretty strong road ahead, but we did raise $15,000 so far in 12 days through our community. So we're working on getting it done.
APM building.
Like where we come down the hill.
I think it's the old APM building. The white building?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. Anyone else have anything to say for the good of the town?
Hello, guys. My
Yes.
name's Stephen Townsend, and I grew up here too. I would just like to suggest that everyone who is wanting to get themselves involved as much as they want to, more for the future, for some of the suggestions that I want to bring to the attention of all the leadership who
Yep.
makes their decisions. But I'm not going to do it necessarily here at the town hall meeting because it pertains more along the lines to everyone. And, just take it from there. But that's all I would like to say. As far as the waste management thing goes, they're on strike.
No, they're not on strike.
They're not on strike.
No, they're not on strike, but I think they're having a very difficult time of new employees. I think that there's the new routes that they put together hasn't been so successful. So there's a compounding.
And probably there's internal strife because I don't think the drivers are agreeable with management, so there's a whole lot of things that's going on with that.
Yeah, I guess that's something to discuss here then. Well, my brother, who I was staying with, I guess he got his trash picked up from you guys, Waste Management. The town used to do it, and then, or no. It was the town that started coming to pick it up when they started missing people's trash.
That's correct.
Right, so why don't you guys back charge them? Why are you bound to?
There's a lot of things that we have discussed. Now, what is your address, Mr. Thompson? I didn't get,
314 East Village Road.
okay.
Or, no, I'm sorry, 336 Draymount, that's my old address.
Okay. But anything that you want to do to address the town, you can meet with town hall and address it at any day that you want to come in, or you can address it at meetings. We're happy to listen.
How often?
We meet the first, second, and third Wednesday of each month at noon.
So that's tomorrow and the next day, the first, second, and third.
I'm sorry, the first, second, and third
The first,
Wednesday
second, and third. All right,
of each month.
all right,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Okay, we have, Steve, are we gonna still meet in a closed session, or what do you think?
I don't think we need to. We've resolved the issue about using the Maryland Local Government Investment Pool to maximize our safety, liquidity, and earnings under our investment policy.
All right,
I think
very
we've
good.
already addressed that.
Very good. Anyone else have anything for the good of the town? Seeing none, meeting adjourned.